Hello everybody, it's Nuoance, and today I had a lot I wanted to talk about. In the background you'll be seeing clips of my friends and I having fun at Lakuza's new world based off of Jet Set Radio. It's a fantastic night of fun and I highly recommend you give it a try. If you aren't someone who keeps up with VRChat creators, Lakuza is one of the few names you should know since they are connected to a ton of really impressive maps all over VRChat. Of course, they're not the only one who makes impressive content for the game, but we'll get into that later. Every creator has their own styles, like Jar makes quick game worlds, Lakuza makes more in-depth experiences with a team of incredibly talented creators, and Lucifer M-Star has some banging chill-out worlds. So, let's talk about the good, the bad, and the thankless in VRChat world building. Now, we're going to rip the band-aid right off and do what is probably the roughest part of this video. Some videos prior, I spoke about things you could do in VRChat if you're out of ideas. See, the game is filled with content, so it could be rough for players to find something new and interesting with everything constantly getting changed or updated. One of those things I spoke about briefly but never went into was movie worlds. Surprising no one, movie worlds are a very sticky subject for our game since we know it's more than likely illegal to host even the older films. If you've been on in past week or two and frequented these worlds, you may have noticed that a staple of VRChat's entertainment, Root's homeworld, has been changed. No longer are the movies available for visual consumption. This is a topic I've been dying to cover for literally months now, but never wanted to on the very small chance that it got into the hands of someone who could cause problems for those creators. While heavily illegal, I'd rather not solely be responsible for someone's livelihood being completely screwed over. I also knew that eventually, with how the game is growing, someone was gonna get caught. Root Beer has finally received a cease and desist letter to take down their world and all the movies that are part of it, or risk being sued by the Motion Picture Association. This is just the first of the big domino in a sequence that's going to tumble down a whole set of problems for tons of creators on VRChat, but it's unavoidable. The game makes some big money for the right people, just take a look at Jar. They've made roughly $4,000 this past month from their worlds alone, and honestly they deserve it for all the love and time they put into their content. However, let's take a look at another side of things. I won't be posting any direct links because you know who you are, but there are players who sell their worlds or avatars that have stolen content that isn't free for commercial use, and also make some pretty nice bank on it. I have a small series of worlds I'm working on called the Mini Bites, which will hopefully be ready for purchase at the end of the year. These things take time because you need to have firstly the proper license to use other people's work or make your own. One world that my friend found has made over $5,000 and they could recognize a portion of those assets to be Sims related. This is not okay and puts everyone who makes content in VRChat in a bad light. Back a few years ago, and apparently still today, we had a huge issue with players stealing TDA models and outfits that were specifically not allowed on VRChat. Creators were finding their content all over the place, and consistently requesting not to do that. Stealing from those who work hard for their content just walls us off from an opportunity to work together in the future, and on a grander scale, and can also put a target on our back. Please, if you're a content creator and use your content to gain monetary value, try to avoid stealing from other creators to make a quick buck. You're only hurting all of us in the future. Going back to the movie worlds, I predict that we'll be seeing more worlds get their cease and desist letters very soon, and one of two things will happen. Firstly, VRChat may have to get personally involved. All this pirating is happening in their game, and bigger companies aren't gonna like seeing the continuous uploads. Sadly, in this situation, VRChat's owners are gonna be the one who take the hard L, since players will blame them for putting their foot down. Let me make this crystal clear. If this happens, VRChat has no control over it. They either make the movie ban or they get screwed over. It's gonna suck a lot, but at the end of the day, everyone's been put between a rock and a hard place. So unless you want to personally try fighting copyright laws, not much else can be done. The second option, which I feel will happen anyways, is creators are going to get way more sneaky. They're going to be extra careful in what they name their movie world, and only word of mouth will we find it. Though that's not all I wanted to cover today. While writing this script, I just found out that VRChat has decided to cease all use of SDK2 for future projects, and now everything must be made in Udon. This infuriates me, like, a lot. Don't get me wrong, I love Udon, but I also finally had started to understand how to work with SDK2 on my own, because while I do have friends who can help me, they're too busy and working on bigger projects that it feels like I'm wasting their time. Before, I felt like I had an opportunity to learn with SDK2 and was given the time to be taught it, but now it feels like my questions are deflected or ignored, which, no hate to my friends, they're busy and don't have to help me. But VRChat just a few months ago specifically said that SDK2, while having no more updates, would still be usable. I'm already super annoyed with all the Unity updates, and the argument that they're doing it for us gets old quick. Personally, I believe if you're planning a series of updates, why don't you just, I don't know, work on them before updating? In the span of a month, we went to like 3 different Unity versions, and while it isn't that big of a deal, it's a heart attack and a headache that I didn't need. Maybe there's things I don't understand about the process, which is definitely the case, but my god, all this changing and updating is driving me up a wall. So now to add that all of SDK2 is just officially dead is kind of the straw that broke the camel's back for me at the moment. I should have seen it coming, and I mean, I haven't made a world in a hot minute, minus the ones I've been slowly updating, so thank God for Cyan Laser's new system for auto-updating worlds to SDK3, though I haven't tested it yet. Otherwise, I'd be going nuts. With the rate that they're going, I expect probably 3 to 5 more Unity updates before we hit Christmas. Prove me wrong, VRChat.
I beg of you.
Finally, we get into the actual reason why I made this video. See, as stated before, Lakuza made the Jet Set Radio world for all of us to enjoy and play in. I got super motion sick, but we'll ignore that because I'm just weak. I feel like world creators in VRChat both have the most rewarding and the most thankless jobs at times. I could honestly make a whole video about the instances Rakshaw got disrespected and talked over about what she should do with Drinking Night and her newest world, Trap Haven. One of those stories I'll be touching on loosely here today. A week ago, we were hanging out in a public drinking night world when a man suddenly appeared and dragged our friend away. He locked the door to the spin the wheel room and started accosting her about her world. He told her that because she didn't have more than one warning to drink responsibly and that the warning wasn't specific enough, she is responsible for any lives lost or bad habits gained. Because every wall wasn't plastered with don't drink and drive, anyone who does it will hold her accountable. And if he drank past his limits in her world, passed out and hit his head and bled to death, it would be his blood on her hands. If I have to tell you this was the dumbest thing I've heard of, you need to get a reality check. What detective or officer is going to find a man bleeding on the ground and check his VR headset to see what game he was playing? Almost none of them. In Trap Haven, she has a barrier to please be respectful, don't overdrink, and for the private events version, the world is only for 18+. Do you know how many people have gone out of their way to let her know they don't even read the rules? And then get mad when they're not welcome because they broke said rules? God, I've had instances where I've made rules for people to read and they just gloss over them like it's some terms of service. It's maybe 3 sentences, you'll be fine. Stop being lazy because surprise, surprise, you may actually find information that would help you navigate around the world better. This is going to be a little off topic, but did people just forget how to use common sense? TikTok really showed me that when I got threats for having a door that opens outwards. You'll never get anywhere in life if you don't slow down, take a moment and take in your surroundings and think. Please. Another great example I have is that many sources where I've asked not to be added or spam added on VRChat or Discord. So how in the heck do I still get a few a day? I'd love to be friends with all of you, but I've had to be mean and put my foot down, and I hate it. Once again, I owe these people nothing because I make my content for me because it makes me happy. And if it makes you happy too, that just makes me happier. They need to understand that just because they want to be friends doesn't mean I have to add them. We're all the main characters in our own story, and I'd love to be a part of theirs, but right now, I don't know them, and with every other message is just them trying to add me or spamming me about different topics to add them, it gets really old. Getting back on topic, everyone has their own way of doing things, building worlds, and making content, and I see very often different players complain that a world isn't the way that they'd do it. Therefore, it's bad. This is the bad side of content creation. Everyone and their mother are critics of what you make. As I stated earlier, even popular maps that are well loved get harassed about their issues. Did you know that someone started a petition to change the music in Drinking Night? Fun times. I actually really like the music, even though everyone seems tired of listening to the same 10 songs. People don't understand just how much work and effort goes into each world, and I think some just expect you to snap your fingers and it shall appear. It's the same with any kind of creation. Just because someone can make something doesn't mean they're fast and efficient with it. I have a friend who makes really nice models for himself and didn't realize until recently that he took each vertice to make it all fit. That must have taken literal hours, and when I knew a cheat to make it easier, it would only take minutes at most. Raksha, sorry for using your name so much, is the perfect example of this. Sure, her worlds are clean, look great, and pretty popular. But also each one took literally months, if not a year, to create, and I don't actually know if she even has a world that she considers finished, because that's how much energy she puts into updating and maintaining each one. People who make worlds, big or small, are usually proud of what they've done because it takes time, love, and fortitude to finish a world. And yet everyone feels like they are suddenly an expert on the world building and tearing down others' work just because they can. Words can hurt, and even if you aren't hurt by them, it doesn't mean it won't affect others. Try to be kind, and if you are someone who has some authority on building worlds, be patient, and instead of tearing down someone else, lift them up and let them know what they can do. In the spirits of lifting others up, Jar, my friend, I highly doubt you watch my videos, but hey, if you do, I got a question about your lighting in the Halloween version of Murder 4. Are those real-time lights? Cause, oh dang, you got some good lighting in there and I would be mega jealous if you told me your secrets. That's though pretty much it for now. What do you guys think? I've got to get back to work, so I hope y'all will do me the favor of please subscribing if you haven't, and make sure to drink your water, eat your broccoli, and have a fantastic day. See y'all in the next video.